A typical day for someone on the dive team or the underwater search and recovery unit, you could be on patrol and we could get a call from homicide saying, hey, we just had a homicide and a gun was thrown in the water, and you're going from your patrol cruiser to the dive bay to gather your gear and then deploying and searching for a weapon out of a homicide. The dive team's unlike any other unit on the department. We have a battery of tests that we give new candidates just to test their mental fortitude to join the team, because our missions are not like any other missions on the department. You have to be comfortable in the water. You have to be comfortable in uncomfortable environments, blacked out conditions, cold, depth, and just knowing that your only lifeline is that tank on your back.
One of the biggest misconceptions I think a lot of people don't realize is, one, all the water in Central Ohio is black water. You have zero visibility. It's not a pleasure dive, it's a working dive.
I could go on 4 call-outs to Griggs Reservoir, and the water conditions each day are going to be something completely different. So how the current is flowing, how the wind is making it, are there choppy waves that day? And it could also be completely different from starting in the morning to working through the afternoon. The conditions change. Maybe a storm front moves in and all of a sudden it's a whole new ballgame.
When we dive Central Ohio, we're responsible for Hoover, Griggs, O'Shaughnessy. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources has had us go up to Elm Creek several times for their call-outs. So we pretty much anywhere Central Ohio, we will respond to. We dive every day of the year if it's needed. If it's 90 degrees out or if it's 6 degrees out, then we'll cut holes in the ice from both extremes that we're diving.
In this condition here, we actually have a little bit of visibility because of the water moving and the flow. It's only about a foot, maybe max. Now, once we start digging, that's debris and all of that stuff comes up and gets right in our face and you can't see. So a large portion of it is we're doing it all by touch and feel. Dig some debris back, feel where you're at on the car, because ultimately these items submerged we treat them as crime scenes. They're just underwater crime scenes. So there's a degree of knowledge and skills that go with preserving that evidence and removing it the best that we can. So evidence could be as small as items from a burglary, or a suspect's running from officers and throws a gun in the water, disables a gun or takes a gun apart and throws pieces in a pond, all the way to larger items like a car or safe. So it really goes all over the place. The most memorable moments that I have had on the dive team is when we've been able to recover a missing person or someone that their loved ones want home, and we help bring that closure to them. Those are the most memorable missions that I have. Really finding things that aren't supposed to be found and helping bring closure to many of cases.
So we had a shooting at one of our Taco Fests events down at Vets Memorial. Suspects drove away, police cruisers gave chase. They actually threw the gun off of the Rich Street Bridge, and it was captured on a cruiser camera. So our team was able to go out. We tried to figure out where on the bridge the gun was thrown, how far out from the water, and we spent 2 days out there searching. Day 2 started out, I dove down, set my anchor line, just tightening up my rope, just getting my setup going to start going. I hit right to my anchor, I reached right over, and on the rock, sitting there like a shelf, was the firearm that we were looking for. So I spent more time getting ready to dive that morning than I actually was in the water today. And as the first one that I directly was the finder of the objects, that one always just kind of sticks in there, just remind me of why I wanted to do it. And then it just kind of confirmed that this is the team I want to be a part of, and this is stuff that excites me. And
the favorite part of my job with the dive team is probably the camaraderie with the officers that we work with. It's always a new task. It's always a learning process. Had a lot of memory experiences with the dive team just because we've dove all over the country in training. We've gone up to Michigan, we've dove in Canada, we've dove in Florida. The FBI had us dive a case down in West Virginia, so we go pretty much wherever we're allowed to go.
Now, about 10 years ago, we went up to Lake Huron on a training, especially at the St. Clair River up there. We do our drift diving certifications up there. But when we were up there, we actually dove and we located a P-130 airplane that's never been recovered since World War II, I believe. Down the line, it was reported to some archaeologists and stuff like that, and the Columbus dive team was allowed to basically go back down And what we did was that we found the cockpits, we found the engines, the wings and things like that. And what we did is we mapped it. So we would pin everything underwater, and basically one way or another, I made an obstacle course with it. You pin it, you tie a string, we pin to the next object, tie a string. So an archaeologist went down, they could follow our mapping system on our strings and go to each object of that plane. I think it was within either a year or 2 years. Now they actually recovered the plane. It was on the National Geographic.
Some of the cool things that we've done in the past have been, we've partnered with Keep Columbus Beautiful, and we recovered a lot of scooters at the Cider River where we're currently at, actually at the bridge right over here underneath the bridge. And those are some of the cool activities we do. We do a lot of events and like community events, career days, Asian Fest. We'll do the dragon boat races and provide extra security for them to make sure other boats aren't in their way. And if any emergency situation arises, then we can help them with those situations.
So to be a part of the USRU, it is one of the only units in the whole division of police that is not seniority based, which is pretty unique and special for us. We're not looking just for time on, we're looking for skill, comfort, and dedication to the team. To be part of it, we do a tryout process when members are needed. So what we do is we actually do a 4-phase tryout. Starts with some in the water pool, basic swimming safety, lap swimming, object retrieval, breath holds, treading. We then move them into the river where they'll actually get in black water. Normally for most of the divers, it's their first time. It was my first time being in black water. It was out on the river on tryout day 1, just to see what that feels like to not be able to see a hand in front of your face when you're underwater, about 20 feet under, usually kind of cold. So you get a little bit of the elements mixed in there as well. Again, we're looking for comfort. How well can you handle the stress? It's not that you can't feel stress, it's that you can overcome adversity when you're doing it, because that's a big part of the job.
Then we put them through we call it an obstacle course, but they're required to stay online and go through different objects. One is a school bus. We send them through a school bus. They have to take gear off and put the gear back on, all while maintaining contact with the line. And then the final part is we do a practical scenario in deep water, clear water, so we can see them and make sure that they're not going to hurt themselves. But we black their masks out so they can't see, and then we do a body recovery at approximately 55 to 60 foot of water.
Every year on the dive team, we have to requalify in the swim test. There's a swimming part of timed event. There's an underwater event with gear on. There's different rescue techniques that we have to practice. We've had divers that have gotten entrapped with rope lines that have been snagged in the bottom of Hoover with the anchor lines and ropes. People have got tied up. Fishing line, if you get tangled in fishing line, you can't break it with your hands. You have to cut yourself out. Every year we do an entangled diver series in the pool where we actually put them in a cage. We tie them to the bottom, then we have them cut themselves free, and then once they're free, we'll retie them, and then we'll send a diver down in a blacked out mask, and they have to find the diver and then cut the diver free and bring him to the surface.
Anyone that would want to get on the Columbus Police Dive Team, obviously you have to be an officer, but hone your skills in your diving, be comfortable in the water, be comfortable in blacked out conditions. Either black a mask out or close your eyes and be able to take your gear off and put it back on, and really just put yourself in some situations where you can calm your nerves.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of people say they're uncomfortable. We'll get you comfortable in the water. You come out with an open mind. Just know it's something different. It's something that it's a challenge. So if you're a person who wants to step up and challenge yourself and be a part of a good core group of individuals who are all like-minded and a little sub-family within the division of police, it's a great place to be, and we're always happy to talk about what we do and what it is to be a part of the team.